The Seattle Seahawks' march through the 1992 season was a perilous journey. The Seahawks suffered through the worst campaign in franchise history, setting records of futility by scoring the fewest points in the league. At the core of their frustration was a shocking number of casualties, with more players sent to injured reserve than anyone else in the NFL. For a rebuilding team with little margin for error, these losses were devastating. And yet no one in football played harder week in and week out than the Seattle Seahawks. That was the message head coach Tom Flores was hearing every Sunday afternoon.
Your team, I tell you what, your team is a hard-hitting, hard-playing football team.
Remarkable team. You know,
they are. I mean,
guys.
I pointed out to our guys how enthusiastic and how intense they are throughout the whole game.
Our players have been tremendous about it. You know, we're not. No one's pointing fingers, and we're just optimistic that it's going to turn. And we're going to struggle through most of this year, but we're going to give it our best, and our players have played very hard.
There's a definite feeling that we're building something here in Seattle. We've got young guys, we make mistakes here and there, we've got injuries, but there's no excuses. We're working hard every week to build on something.
Let's knock a ball loose, let's get a turnover, let's make a big play. It's going right down the middle, everybody run, get off the blocks. Refuse to be blocks, turnover, 1, 2, 3,
back, fires one into the end zone, touchdown Seahawks! Tommy Kane made a great grab. Ready, go John L! Way to run!
In 1992, victories were rare, but the Seattle Seahawks never backed down and never gave up. There were those under the Kingdome in 1992 who were the absolute picture of perfect health, but their legions did not include many players on the Seahawks roster. This posed particular problems for the new members of the offensive coaching staff, who scrambled each week to find 11 healthy bodies for the starting lineup. While the offense was addressing its ills, Seattle's special teams were busier than usual. Rick Tootin set or tied 6 team records while launching the 3rd highest number of punts in NFL history. Other contributing specialists included Bob Spitulski, Reuben Mays, Rick Newbill, Grant Fiesel, Tracy Johnson, and Captain James Jones. Even as the kicking teams battled to secure favorable field position, the offense was searching for stable continuity. Kelly Stauffer, Dan McGuire, and Stan Gelbaugh all took turns at the quarterback position, but injuries and mistakes were constant companions. Their passing targets included tight ends Paul Green, Ron Heller, and Trey Junkin, along with veteran Rob Thomas and second-year receivers Doug Thomas and David Daniels, number 88. Number 84, Lewis Clark, made significant contributions until he was lost to injury. A broken collarbone sidelined number 89, Brian Blade, Seattle's best receiver for most of the year. placing added burdens and double coverage on the Seahawks' other starting wideout, Tommy Kane, number 81. Up front, #1 draft pick Ray Roberts was inserted into the lineup, making him the first rookie offensive lineman in team history to start every game. Ray got a harsh baptism of fire in the pit, but never relented, improving steadily by season's end. Roberts was joined on the left side by fourth-year pro Andy Heck, new full-time center Joe Toffelmeyer, durable guard Derek Brills, and right tackle Bill Hitchcock. Their tasks included providing a blocking escort for number 32, John L. Williams, whose 74 receptions placed him second among NFL running backs.
More often than not, he's going to find a seam out the back door. So if we get a good wash on guys, he'll just be coming right off the center's behind or the backside guard and getting upfield, and I feel sorry for any linebacker that gets in his way.
In 1992, Williams was still a formidable weapon coming out of the backfield and a source of strong leadership during a difficult season. Like his running style, Williams assumed his team captain's responsibilities with unswerving, head-on determination.
That left somebody had to be the leader, and they voted me to be the captain. And right now, I am verbally trying to lead this ball club. We're in a tough situation right now, and somebody got to stand up and lead this ball club. And the only thing I can do is just tell the guys to keep their heads up, and we just have to go from there.
I want to say something. On behalf of this football team. Team! Team! We want to present Coach Floyd with a game ball. His first victory as a Seahawk.
Williams led by deeds as well as words, sacrificing himself so that emerging star Chris Warren, number 42, could succeed in his first season as Seattle's feature running back. After 2 years of service as one of the NFL's top kick returners, Warren got the chance to prove he was a man of many talents.
From day one in training camp, I was listed as the #1 tailback, and that made me feel good because I worked hard my 2 previous years before this year. You know, finally I got the chance this year, and you know, I just had it set in my mind that once I got the position, I wouldn't lose it. You know, a lot of teams underestimate my speed because they don't think a guy my size can run as fast as I can. Then, you know, I can break a lot of tackles also.
Give it to Warren, who breaks straight ahead, a little bit of a crease across the 40, 45, breaks a tackle. He's in open field at the 40, being chased, he gets to the 30, at the 20, but down near the 15-yard line. Chris Warren with an electrifying run this season.
Chris is a very powerful and deceptively fast type of football player, and that's what he gives you. He's got tremendous abilities, and I think he's just a puppy, just starting to learn.
In 1992, Chris Warren learned well and rocketed to the head of his class.
Long count by Gilbaugh, turns and gives to Warren at the 30, cuts left, 25, 20, may go, 10, 5, touchdown, Chris Warren!
Chris Warren, only the second player in Seahawks history to rush for 1,000 yards. In 1992, Seattle's defenders were kings of the kingdom.
Defense? Fantastic. Best I've seen them.
Got Rufus Porter. You can't stop the man. You got Eugene Robinson, secondary. Anything that gets near him, he catches.
Well, Kennedy and all of the people there are just #1, I think. They really know what they're doing.
The fans agreed, and so did admiring experts in the national sports media.
The Seattle Seahawks, while their offense is struggling, they put together one of the really fine young defenses around the National Football League, haven't they?
Charlie, I love that Seattle defense. And these guys now go into the third quarter of ball games. They've only won one ball game, for heaven's sake. And usually when that happens, as Ron knows, those defensive guys sit there and say, uh-oh, third quarter, here we go again. These guys never let up, and they're great.
But I got to give a lot of credit to Tom Catlin, who coordinates that defense. And I was fortunate to play with Tom Catlin in my formative years with the LA Rams in the mid-'70s. And he's an attention-to-detail guy. And whenever you play for Tom Catlin, you know what you're doing.
42, the linebacker's got to go to here.
When Sports Illustrated named Tom Catlin NFL Coach of the Year, it marked the first time an assistant had ever won the award. The rest of the Seattle coaching staff deservedly basked in the honor by assembling one of the NFL's most respected defensive units. Longtime starters Joe Nash and Jeff Bryant were bulwarks on the defensive line, sharing the Steve Largent Award as the most inspirational players on the Seahawks roster. Number 57 defensive end Tony Woods provided additional veteran savvy, and youngsters Michael Sinclair, Tyrone Rogers, and Natu Tua Tagovailoa offered a promising glimpse at Seattle's defensive future. In the Seahawks' defensive scheme, every athlete played a crucial part in its overall success.
We played team defense, and you know, it's 11 guys out there hustling, and everybody taking care of their job and assignment, and it's just, you know, all out, gung-ho, just go attack them, get them football. Everybody has to do a certain thing on each defense, and if one person breaks down, then the whole defense falls apart. So it's a defense where you have to rely on the guy next to you to do his job.
With precision and cohesion, linebackers Rufus Porter, David Wyman, Terry Wooden, Joe Kane, Rod Stevens, and E.J. Jr. forced fumbles, clogged running lanes, and smothered quarterbacks. They yielded yardage grudgingly, or simply not at all. The linebackers were one part of a defensive scheme that deceived and confused even the most talented opponents.
Huddle up, huddle up, huddle up. We're gonna disguise the lightning, and we're gonna play a nickel 88 clamp. Nickel 88 clamp. Keep them in front of you guys. All right? Let's go do it, baby. Let's work. We've been whooping their butt all day.
Seahawk defensive backs crunched as effectively as they covered. They were among the NFL's most undesirable and uninvited backfield guests, yet still ranked as the league's fourth best pass defense. Robert Blackman, Patrick Hunter, Dwayne Harper, Dedrick Dodge, Brian Davis, Nesby Glasgow, Raphael Robinson, and Malcolm Frank were part of a defense that set a franchise record of fewest yards allowed for the third straight season. And the secondary also proved it could even pick up some yardage of its own.
They run, waving everybody downfield. He will run. Fumbles the football at the 40, picked up on his way at the 30, at the 20. Touchdown Seahawks, and Dwayne Harper went.
The defensive backs generally had a pretty firm grip on all phases of the game, but they'll have to work hard to duplicate the career achievements of Seattle's all-time leading interceptor, Dave Brown. On August 22nd, friends and former teammates gathered to salute Brown, only the third man ever to be inducted into the Seahawks Ring of Honor. Brown accepted the accolades, then returned to his duties as defensive coach, duties that include the proper outfitting of his players.
I'll come on the outside, though. The other one I forced, nice. It's like dressing my kids. I guess I am your son, Anna. Kind of semi-son, adopted.
Safety Eugene Robinson is Dave Brown's modern-day heir apparent. A 1992 Pro Bowl selection and the AFC's second leading pass interceptor. For Robinson, the pulse of an NFL game inspires a steady beat of pass thefts, bruising collisions, and a victory rap that is music to the ears of his many admirers.
VICTORY. That's what we sing about, because that is our battle cry. We're not going out like a chump, but we're fighting like a champ. The blood of the
Indeed, music is a driving factor behind Eugene Robinson's pro football success.
There's something about music that pacifies and also gets a guy motivated. Whether it's the thump or the guitar or whether it's the bass, I don't care what it is. There's something that's special about music that gets a guy, okay, yeah, we're gonna do it. But it's a crazy beat. The beat is, it's thumping, and when you want it, you just can't help but get, I'm getting fired up already. I might hit you. No, I won't do that, but I'm getting fired up already. And I try to carry down the field. If I get a chance to hit you, I'm gonna try to knock your head off, politely. I mean, I'm not trying to hurt you, but I'm gonna try to hit you as hard as I can. There's no doubt about that.
I hit a man so hard, my helmet came off.
I mean, he comes up and hits guys that are probably twice his size, almost twice his size, and he's a fearless hitter.
Brocco! I crushed him. 52? Crushed him.
Whether it's jarring hits, critical takeaways, or split-second decisions, defensive captain Eugene Robinson is always performing in perfect harmony.
Go give it to Dan.
In 1992, Cortez Kennedy was the best defensive player in the NFL.
He is, without question, one of the great young defensive linemen in this league right now, and he can dominate a game.
Such a game occurred in Week 3 against the New England Patriots.
No more running game. No more. No more running. No more. Seattle defense.
It was a typical afternoon for Kennedy. 7 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles.
Second down play, Millen back, he's hit, the ball is fumbled, it's picked up at the 44 by a Patriot.
Wow, the Tez. Cortez was in the backfield, I'm telling you, before Hugh Millen could turn around.
A monster. That's the man. He always says to me, Gene, you're the man. I said, no, I'm not the man. You're the man. Tez, you are the Tez for Prez.
In 1992, Kennedy switched his jersey number to 99 in memory of his good friend Jerome Brown, the Philadelphia Eagles star who died in a car accident.
Jerome was my mentor. He was like the big brother I never had. And every day I just think about him and it's hurt because I wish he was here.
If Brown were here, he'd have been awfully proud of his protege.
Cortez has 3 major skills. One is initial quickness, and 2 is his power. He's strong, he's powerful, he has quick power. And then 3, he's very instinctive, meaning that he seems to always know where the ball is.
Cortez also knows only one way to play: all out, all the time, regardless of the circumstances.
Our defenses don't worry about what the offense do. We got to go out and do our job. Like I tell my guys, I said, I'm going to get my respect. The defense going to get our respect. We're going to go out and play hard. We just got to go out and play Seahawks football and make things happen.
He's a great player, but he can be better, and he wants to get better. He really loves the game. I think Cortez Kennedy wants to be the very best he can be.
He'll be better tomorrow, but he is already the best today. Cortez Kennedy, All-Pro, Team MVP, and 1992 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. For nearly 2 decades, Pete Gross was the undisputed NFL voice of the Pacific Northwest.
From the Kingdom in Seattle, it's the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. I'm Pete Gross along with Steve Rabel as we greet you on this final Sunday of the NFL regular season.
Something that he'd always wanted to do, to broadcast NFL games. And of course there's only 28 of those jobs in the entire country, and he had one of them, and he had a plum, and he had it for all 17 years of the franchise. I guess Pete's broadcasting style is one that I would describe as a style that you wouldn't notice. And it's just like you and I talking. Pete was so easy in the booth to work with, but clear and concise and made the game fun.
Craig fumbles the snap. There's a scramble for it. Nearly fielded by the Rams. Craig gets it back at the 20. Throws one in the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks, the lead. I don't believe it. Single back set. Kenny's back to pass. Shoots one toward the left side and is picked off by Brown. Up the sideline he goes. He could go all the way. He's going to go all the way. No doubt Dave Brown is going to go 95, 96 yards. Touchdown. Seahawks down 10-0. Cincinnati 10-yard line. Best penetration. Craig back to pass. Little pump fake. Now looks, throws to the end zone.
There it is.
Touchdown Seahawks. Number 100.
In 1989, Pete began a 4-year battle with cancer. But as many friends made certain, it would not be a battle he had to fight by himself.
It sounds almost boring, but he was a great guy. That's what everybody, I think, says about Pete. I think somebody once said, you're lucky if you have 4 or 5 good friends in your lifetime. And everybody that I know just about is able to count Pete Gross among those 4 or 5 close friends. That says something about the man right there.
On November 30th, 2 days before his passing, the voice of the Seahawks was joined by 52,000 of his best friends, who celebrated the induction of Pete Gross into Seattle's Ring of Honor. It was a moment that elevated the Seahawk players to their most inspirational performance of the season.
Back to throw is Maddox, looking left, firing it out there. It's intercepted by Blackman. He might go. He's to the 35-40. He's to midfield, cuts back fully. Blackman to the 35, to the 30. Blackman to the 20-yard line. And he's finally down from behind at the Denver 13.
Trailing the arch-rival Denver Broncos 13-6 with barely a minute to play, quarterback Stan Gelbaugh engineered Seattle's most pressure-packed drive of the year.
3 seconds left. There's no doubt right here. This is it. You got to score. It's all coming down to one final play. Gelbaugh to throw. Looking in the end zone. Firing. Caught. Touchdown! Touchdown!
Blade's scoring catch tied the game at the end of regulation. Then John Casey's kick won it in overtime.
Snap, spot, kick on the way, flag down, kick is good. Seahawks have snapped an 8-game losing streak as they beat the Denver Broncos in overtime, 16-13. This win was for Pete Gross. This one's for you, Peter.
You guys are terrific. I mean, we stunk and we didn't stink, but we never gave up. Oh, that's the heart of this football game. Don't quit. It is. Brian, welcome back, and we're going to give the game ball to Pete Gross. All right.
We just know that our day will come. We just have to be patient and just stay together as a team. We're going in the right direction. You know, we're doing all the things that are, you know, helping us go for the future. We have a good nucleus here, and hopefully we can continue to build on that through the draft and acquire more ball players, and we'll be a team to be reckoned with.
I'm trying to build a team that will be a contender for a series of years, and not just maybe once and then fall back or back up and down.
Free agency and the college draft promise better days to come. But one thing remains certain. This ball club will continue to play hard all the time. The Seattle Seahawks are a team that will never quit.